For those who are new, welcome. For those who have been here already, thank you for staying. Now let's dive into today's topic. Forza Horizon 4. Buckle up into the passenger seat, as this is going to be a long one. Now that you're buckled in, let's start by saying that this game was released in 2018. Horizon 4 is based in the United Kingdom. However, from what I've heard from people who live over there, it was more inspired by Scotland rather than England or Wales. This time around, you entered the Horizon Festival as a superstar already. Many changes came in this game. Building off of Blizzard Mountain from Forza Horizon 3, Horizon 4 brought seasons. Each week, the Horizon Festival would change seasons. In the introduction/tutorial phase of the game, you got to play through all 4 seasons before you got to unlock the full Horizon Life side of the game. This took a good many hours to complete, and I know firsthand that this tutorial phase and how long it took pissed off a good many people. I personally knew a couple people who, for reasons beyond their capabilities, had to restart the game and forgot how long the introduction tutorial phase really was, because all online activities were locked until you got the tutorial phase done. This was something that irritated myself and at the time my group of friends when we were first playing this game on launch day. I still remember that so clearly. Like, it just blew our minds that this was the situation and none of us knew how to fix it. Come to find out, we just had to get through the intro and then we could all meet up online. It made absolutely no sense, but hey, that's what the developers wanted apparently. Each season, though, thankfully, felt pretty distinct from each other. Summertime was warm colors, bright colors. It looked like a Horizon game. Autumn comes, and the whole world felt like it was turning red, orange, and brown, which felt really grounded in realism. Winter comes, and the game was just covered in snow, which some people liked, some people didn't like. And because you got snow for a full week at a time, there are a good many players who just wouldn't play during that week. This game would also be a live service game. With the live service model being introduced in Horizon 3, it was drastically expanded on in Horizon 4. The weekly playlist of Forzathon returned, with tasks/challenges that gave you rewards. These rewards range from cars to XP to credits, character customization pieces, wheel spins, and introducing super wheel spins. So we had a whole gambit of different rewards we could get. They also introduced Forzathon live events, where once an hour on the hour, in one area of the map, you would go there, and once it started, you'd be working with other online players to do different themed challenges. You might have a drifting challenge. You might have a speed-based challenge. You might have a skills-based challenge. And there'd be 3 rounds of play, and you earn points for completing each round. If you're just a base player, you'd get up to 30 points, But if you had VIP status, which means you paid real money to get the VIP level of the game, you'd get double the points. So per round, VIPs get 20 per round, giving you a total of 60 versus 10 points round with a total of 30. So the question then becomes, what do you spend your Forzathon points on? Well, there's a Forzathon shop every week with a car, like a rare car, with wheel spins, with clothing cosmetics, with maybe a car horn. You never knew what you're going to get. In this game, developers let you build your own character to a degree. So you're able to choose clothing, you're able to choose face and hairstyle, kinda sorta. There are some presets you had to work with, but you're able to build your own custom character, who you would see in the cutscenes loading into the race, or other cutscenes used throughout different aspects of the game. They also allowed you to use custom car horns. That you could unlock. So you weren't just, say, locked behind a specific horn. Having car horns was a unique feature for this game, because in the prior Horizon games, that wasn't an option. Over the time period of this game being a live service game, the developers introduced 2 new game modes into the game. The first one was called the Eliminator, and it was the answer to the arena-based survival battle mode you'd find in first-person shooter games. You'd be put into the world map, and the world map would slowly get smaller and smaller as you would race against other drivers. And if you lost, well, you're out of the game. But if you win, you kept going. You could get new cars, or you could stay in the car you started in. There were car drops where you could get a new car. So there are multiple ways to get new cars or stay in the car you start with. The ultimate objective is to get into the top 10 or 12 players, and at that point, the game will have a final countdown to the final showdown, where you race across the map to a specified location, and that's how the winner of the whole game mode gets chosen. The other game mode that was introduced even later, closer to the end of the life of this game was called the Super 7. This was a unique game mode that combined the idea of a custom race editor with the blueprint bucket list of Forza Horizon 3, where you set a challenge for another player to do, whether it's drifting, whether it's a speed zone, whether it could be just free roam driving, for all you care. You start in one place, you can end it wherever you want. Some people chose to build a maze, others chose other obstacle courses, because that was the name of the games. You're also given a prop library that was pretty big to make a full course. So if you wanted to make your own custom jump and have someone drive a specific vehicle and get a certain distance off of it, you could do that. You could also throw in other obstacles to slow them down, so they couldn't jump as far. Even closer to the end of the life cycle of this game, Super 7 itself got an update called the High Stakes Super 7, where you could earn even crazier rewards. The way the game mode worked from a non-builder, non-creator side of it is you would go into the Super 7 and do 7 challenges, and at the end of it, you get a good reward for it. A good credits-based reward, an XP and all that sort of stuff. There are other rewards associated with it for different achievements and so on and so forth, but even then, once you did all that and you got those rewards, you could still get credits and XP for doing it. The last major update this game got was called the Backstage Pass. This was a way where players could vote on rare cars that they might have gotten through the festival playlist that they can earn a backstage pass, and they trade in that pass to buy the rare car. Every week, there would be 2 cars that you could vote for, and whichever car won the vote would be put into the backstage pass area. So then, the backstage passes got added to the festival playlist as something you could earn, and then you can just turn it in for whichever one of the really rare cars you wanted. To go along with that idea, they also added star cards. Star cards were a list of categories where if you completed each one, you'd either get a credit payout or another extremely rare, hard-to-find car. And if you completed the entire star card set, you'd get the rarest car in the entire game. And trust me, completing the entire star card list was very difficult if you were not into certain things, such as painting your cars or tuning your cars. Because you had to get up to rank 5 as a painter and a tuner, I do believe. So if you weren't into doing those things, you could not complete your star card sheets. Therefore, you could not get the rarest car in the game. What made this car so rare? It was only found in the wheel spins, and even then, they made it extremely difficult to get. Something else they brought into this game were Horizon stories and businesses. Both the stories and the businesses had their own unique stories and challenges with them that you had to complete. There were 10 challenges per story or business, and each challenge had 3 levels to complete. Or rather, 3 levels of difficulty to complete. So 10 challenges and up to 30 stars could be earned. The stories ultimately gave you a reward vehicle and or credits throughout, and at the end you got a big prize. The businesses were a way to generate passive money. So you do the challenges, you get 3 stars, 2 stars, whatever, on as many as possible, even 1 star on as many as you can, and every day you log into the game, you get credits from the businesses. So it's a way of, you do a little work, and you get continued income through the game, which you can spend on cars, which you can spend on character accessories, like clothing, props, emotes. Like, there's a whole slew of things you could get with them. So, in the last 2 games, we talked about the car points / car perks system and how it changed. Well, it changed one more time in Horizon 4, and it's now being called Car Mastery. So you earn skill points, and then each individual car in the game has its own sheet of car points, car point rewards that you can go in and you can buy. So you can earn credits, you can earn wheel spins, you can earn skill bonuses, advantages, you name it. So yeah, that system is back and it's been changed once again. Another major change. There's only one festival location. So going back to the style of Horizon 1 of only one festival. However, scattered throughout the map are something new they've introduced in this game. Player houses. And they serve the same purpose as the festival. You go there, you can switch cars, you can paint your cars, you can buy parts, you can upgrade, you can tune them. And it's just another festival location, basically. It's a more personalized structure in the world. Also, each player house comes with its own perks. Like, there's one in this game that, once you unlocked it, gave you the ability to fast travel anywhere in the game, not just back to the main festival. However, you had to use your own in-game credits to buy the player houses. All except for the first one you get for free. So again, this is a live service game, and over the course of the game, they introduced many updates. There was one that was an upgrade to the photo mode that gave us new features, including the ability to turn off your headlights if it was nighttime, or turn them on during the daytime. You could also make it so if you're parked, and only if you're parked and or not moving, so again, parked, you could turn off your character. Whether you are moving or not, you could also turn off the ability to see non-player characters or non-playable characters that might be out in the world at the festival. So if you're driving about the festival and you just want a clean shot without the people, you're able to do that. This game also featured a lot more animals, such as chickens, such as deer, such as birds, rabbits, I think there may have been foxes as well. Like, there's a whole slew of different animals in this game that, in photo mode, you could turn those off as well. I only wish you could turn off Horizon props, such as the danger ramps, because that would have cleaned up so many photos that I would have wanted to take at some key locations. You could also adjust the tone qualities of your photo to make it look more cool toned or warmer toned. Like, these are some really interesting features to photo mode that they brought into this game, and I'm so glad they did. Now then, the paint shop, I forget if these next 2 features were added after the game launched or if they were in the game at launch, because they were both from Forza Motorsport 7. You could snap, rotate shapes and or layer groups, or flip them vertically and horizontally. Again, I forget if that was from launch or if they added that in partway through. What I do know is late in the game's life, they did introduce layer masking, but the problem with that is your layer mask would mask all the way to the base color on your car. So you couldn't just say mask out down to a specific layer, it went all the way to the base of the car. So whatever color you have for that, that's what you're working with for masking. So it's still a great feature, but it does have some limitations. But it did help with a lot of good design work. So there were a couple features that were changed for the worse and or were missing. I'm going to start with car meets. So car meets were brought in Horizon 2 and were scattered throughout the map. Go watch my video on Horizon 2 to find out what car meets were. In Horizon 3, there was only one car meet location. In this game, car meets were not a thing. Not in the way they were in the last two games, at least. The only way you could do car meets here is if you got a bunch of people from your friends or other online locations or whatever, and you all got on the same server, same convoy, and you all meet at the same location. And even then, it didn't have the same feeling or ability as the last two games. So essentially, car meets were not a thing in this game. Car clubs, well, those were gone as well. Instead, Xbox made Xbox clubs, and that is how car clubs ended up working in Horizon 4 and then again in Horizon 5. So spoiler alert for the next video in this series. Yep, no car clubs in 4 or 5. However, interesting news about car clubs. It's not been confirmed yet, but they could be returning in Horizon 6. Because Xbox is now doing away with Xbox clubs. So with that, they might just decide to bring the car clubs from Horizon 3 back. So, as we've talked about with the last two games, these games have DLC land expansions. The first DLC for this game was called Fortune Island, and the second one was another partnership deal, this time not with Hot Wheels, nor Fast and the Furious. This time, it was with the Lego company, of all people, and they called it Lego Valley. Now then again, I have my own reasons for not showing the DLC, and that's primarily because I don't have all of the DLC from Horizon 2 or Horizon 3, and so I don't feel like I should be showing any of it, even though I have it for 4 and 5. If y'all want me to make a video about that, I will, but for right now, I'll send you to Nick from AR12Gaming, who's recently done videos on all of the Forza Horizon expansion DLC maps. His links, again, will be in the description below. I will admit, though, the developers put in more testable features that prove most useful when Horizon 5 came out. Because we know that they used their DLC expansions to test new features, new ideas that they want to potentially put into the next game they're working on. This game was no different. And it's interesting, when Horizon 5 came out and we saw what all they did, we could immediately see, oh, that was from that DLC, that's from that DLC, and this is how it's all come together. Just like with testing out snow with Blizzard Mountain for Horizon 3, we're able to see from both Fortune Island and Lego Valley what they did with that for Horizon 5. So this is a teaser for that video. Stick around, and that video will come out eventually here. So it's been a few videos since I gave final thoughts on the subject matter. This game had, rather than the standard 2 years until the next title, this one, again, came out in 2018. Horizon 5 came out in 2021. So that's a 3-year lifespan until the next game launched. The height of this game happened going into that 3rd year when the COVID-19 pandemic happened. This delayed the release of nearly every media industry project that was in the works. This meant movie productions were put on hold, TV productions were put on hold, video games were put on hold. The new Forza Motorsport was delayed even because of COVID. But what COVID did do was give time for Forza Horizon 4 to get more life, and the player numbers drastically increased. It also gave more time for developers to cook on Horizon 5 and give us new things for Horizon 4, which included the Super 7. Which, again, this is a teaser for the video on Horizon 5. Super 7 played a huge role in Horizon 5. Another feature I almost forgot to mention real quick here. Before the Super 7 was even a thing, back on Horizon 3, I mentioned this, the bucket list challenges. They were trying to have the bucket list custom blueprints be your own custom events in the game. I said that in the Horizon 3 video. For Horizon 4, they expanded that idea and they made it so you could make your own custom races in Horizon 4. That was a feature from launch that was absolutely revolutionary for this franchise. It meant if you wanted a crazy cross-country race, you could do it. If you wanted a race that had you driving through all the different rivers in the game, you could do it. Because this map, which we'll talk about later, had a ton of waterways. As well as, in the wintertime, a frozen lake. And let me just say this, amongst my friends, they know the torture that I can present, as I did a custom river race where we drove through all the different waterways possible. And it was absolutely torture for everyone who partook in this event. So yeah, custom races, that was a ton of fun to do. And then again, during the COVID-19 pandemic, when everyone was home anyways and gamers did their gaming, you better believe it, I was hosting a ton of custom races. That was an absolutely crazy time to be a gamer. However, I hope and I pray we never have those conditions again. Because COVID-19 was not something to joke about. My channel is not going to be super serious about this sort of stuff, but when we talk about that time period of gaming, I loved it, but I hated it. It was great to have everyone online whenever we wanted to be on, but I hated it as well because of what the world was going through. This game also introduced, on a lighter note, monthly, quote, live streams. Like they started out, I think they were live, I really don't know for sure, where the developers would talk about the updates for each month, which was a really cool way to get the developers to interact with the players. Even if the videos really were pre-recorded, to me that didn't matter. What mattered was they were taking the time to have even limited interaction with the player base. This was something that I thought was really, really cool. So now we're at the final part of this, where I realized in my Horizon 3 video, I forgot to give Horizon 3 a rating, because I'm giving each of these games a rating out of 10. So for Horizon 3, I'll state it right now, I'm giving it a solid 8.5 out of 10. The game was not perfect, and I don't think any game will get a 10 from me. It'll get close, but I don't think I can ever give a game a perfect 10. So Horizon 3, an 8.5. Horizon 4, which we've been talking about, I'm giving it a 7. So you must be wondering why I am giving this game, which had a longer lifespan, which had more development time because of post-launch development, all these new features, why would I be giving it a 7 and not at least matching Horizon 3 at an 8.5? Like, that's a full point and a half different. Well, it all boils down to the map and the map design. And I hate to say this, but here's another little nugget for you. That is going to be another video where we look at all the maps of the Horizon series through 5. So you're just going to have to wait for the answer of why I'm giving Horizon 4 a 7 and Horizon 3 an 8.5. At the end of the day, it comes down to the map, and that will be explained another day. Until next time, roll those dice, move that bishop, and collect 200 after passing go.